now stand, please, meeting for the moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome everybody to our meeting tonight. Mr. Wilson won't be here, so we will be presiding. At this moment, can I get an adoption of meeting agenda for June 3rd, 2025 regular board meeting?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Have a first motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the May 20th, 2025 regular board meeting and the minutes from the May 27th, 2025 call student hearings?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you. Item number 5, recognize Northridge Middle School baseball team as City County champions. Dr. Mr. Hurd. I apologize. I'm just reading.
Good evening, board members.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It is truly a pleasure to be here again to recognize two Northridge Middle School athletic programs for winning city county champions. Our first team is our baseball team. Northridge Middle School won the city county baseball championship hosted at Eccles. They defeated Eccles 11-7 on April 17th to win this championship. Coach Deacon Meadows has been doing a great job with the program, and we just look forward to continued success. First and foremost, I always want to thank the parents for all of the work, hard work, and dedication and support that they put in for our young people to give them opportunities like this. And Dr. Rainey, A.D. Cherry, all of our teachers and our support staff for making sure that our student athletes are truly that, student athletes. And at this time, I'll bring Coach Meadows up to introduce his staff and talk about his team and his play.
Good evening. These are my 6. Due to the scheduling, the first time we were going to do this, I had about 18 that were going to show up. So I'm proud of these 6 for making it back, starting left to right: Price Ingram, Jack Reed, Kane Wise, John Rivers Oliver, Nathan McCants, and Collins Gooden. Collins and Nathan were 2 of our stud pitchers for the year, and all these guys contributed in a big way. Seems like I just did this for football. I'm getting pretty used to coming up here and doing these things, so winning's good, you know. Looking at our season, we were 20-6 overall. We were 5-0 against our crosstown rival Eccles. We also went up to Birmingham and played a Hewitt-Trustful team. They're one of the more talented programs in the state, and they crank out a lot of good players, and they've only lost 4 games over the last 2 years. We were able to beat them 4-1 early in the year. I was really proud of our guys for that. I have some numbers for you. We scored 176 runs on the year, which is about 6.7 runs a game. If you watched any of the college baseball this weekend, that doesn't sound crazy, but our games are only 5 innings. Some of them are 7. So that's over a run an inning. So I thought our offense played really well the whole year. As a pitching staff, we struck out 154 batters and only 136 innings pitched, which was over 1 an inning, and held opponents to a 188 batting average against. That meant out of every 10 hitters, you're getting roughly 2 hits. So if we limited the free passes, our pitching was pretty top notch. Wow. What I was most proud of with this team is we lost 4 in a row to end the regular season, going into a regular season finale against Oak Mountain. We were able to right the ship, finish with a win, and then go on and win our tournament and deal with that adversity, which showed that they were buying into the things we were selling, about losing yourself in the team, letting the name on the front of the jersey taking precedence to the name on the back. I was very proud of how they did that. They showed up to practice in games and played a nameless, faceless opponent every day. And I have a quote I like to use because the margins on winning and losing for baseball are razor thin. If all you're chasing is a championship, then you're chasing the wrong thing. Championships are a byproduct, not the goal. Build champions in how you train, how you prepare, and how you live. If you do that, the results will take care of themselves. I think they embodied that all year. They were a great group. They were fun to coach, and I'm so glad their hard work was rewarded with the championship, because that doesn't always happen.
Can I say something to these
You sure can.
handsome young men? Listen, I'm a baseball mom, and I absolutely hate that my boys stopped playing and they got into basketball more. So please keep going with baseball, because it can take you places you wouldn't even imagine. Now, I do have a request. I need a T-shirt and a schedule for next year, so I can at least catch one or two, games, because I love baseball. And one of my boys, he wouldn't even hit or do nothing until I got to the game. And my husband always say, "You gonna get put out," because I always fuss with the umpire. But I love baseball, so congratulations to you all.
Thank you.
Congratulations, you guys. We are so proud of you. Thank you so much for your hard work and your dedication to each other and to your team and to the school. And thank you, Coach Metters, for all of the time and love that you pour into these boys. And of course, thank you to the parents for getting them there. We appreciate you all.
Thank you so much.
And one more thing, remember what your coach said. It's about the name on the front first, and then it's about the name on the back. So teamwork will make the dream work.
Okay. Can we get the parents to stay in for us and see that's here?
Thank you all.
See, I always said, Coach, thank you very much for what you put into them, because you not only teach them to play baseball, but you teach them to be real young men, and we appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I enjoy it.
I think we're gonna get
Can we get a picture of you guys in front of the board here? How's that?
Gentlemen,
Congratulations.
congratulations.
That's awesome.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Okay, he got a picture handshake.
Coach?
I'm in this gap.
I got
Let's go down. I'm right here.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you all.
Coach, thanks again. Appreciate it. Hey, guys, thank you. Enjoy some.
Mr. Hurd, I think we're gonna recognize the Northridge Middle Girls Track and Field City County Champions.
Again, it's an honor to stand before you to recognize our Northridge Middle School girls track and field team. And under the guidance of Coach Joseph Gibbs, this team really dominated this year. They were undefeated in every meet, and again, winning the city county championship. Coach Gibbs will give you a chance to come and say a few words and introduce your staff and your team.
Hey everybody, I'm Coach Palmer. I've worked with the track team this year along with Coach Gibbs, who unfortunately couldn't be here. But I think I speak for him also when I say working with this track team has been truly humbling, not only because of how well we did, going completely undefeated in the regular season, winning city-county, setting the city-county relay record, a lot of other great, amazing things we've done this year. But what was more important to me is watching this group of girls really develop into great athletes and better students. Here today we have Lily and Abby, who really grew into leaders on this team. They stepped up, they worked with the team, they showed the team how to be real leaders. They're moving on to high school next year, and I know they're going to bring that leadership experience into the high school and do great things there. So I'm really proud of them, along with many other students that could not be here today. So I think I speak for myself and Coach Gibbs when I say it has been an amazing experience working with you girls. Congratulations on all of your achievements, and I know it's just the very beginning of what you girls are going to do. So congratulations.
Thank you, Coach.
Hold on, Coach, 1 minute.
Coach, I just wanted to say, and to you girls, thank you for being here, representing your team. And similarly to what I said to the previous group of boys, we just really appreciate you and all of the work that you put in and the example that you set for your fellow classmates. And we're just so proud to see you up here, and thank you for being here. And Coach, thank you for all the time that you take out of your schedule to be with these girls and to coach them up. It's clearly working.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Get a picture?
Parents.
Oh, parents, I'm sorry.
Thank you all.
Can't escape, Coach. Gotta get in this.
Congratulations, y'all.
Congratulations.
What events do y'all?
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
What are their specialties?
Abby coaches on distance and I've also got rower.
Okay, awesome. Oh, that's great.
This.
You know this guy who's taking this picture, right? Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So is that his baby? When you said, do we know this guy? Okay.
One of them.
I saw him stand up when he said parents, but I didn't know if he was standing up to take a photo. Got it.
Right.
Thank you all.
Thank you for your leadership, Dr. Rainey.
Thank you. Okay, item 7, public comments on non-agenda items. We have none. Moving on to item 8, informational reports from the superintendent and the executive administrative staff. Dr. Darian.
Yes, sir. Ms. Nordstrom, Ms. Markham, Dr. Walker are going to do a presentation, and it's a brief presentation on a lot of important information. They're going to go over our CCRI. They're going to talk about recent legislation. They're going to talk about dual enrollment. So I'm going to hand it to them to get started, and certainly they'll be willing to take your questions either tonight or if you have deeper questions after this evening. So, Ms. Nordstrom?
Hi, Board.
How you
we
doing?
got a lot of good things going on to follow up on. I don't know how we can beat that, but we're going to give it a shot. So this is our agenda. This is what we're going to talk about. I don't feel like I need to run through that, but we just want to make sure that y'all are aware of all the great things that are going on in our systems, specifically as it relates to CCRI. As you know, college career readiness and the CCRI has become a big measure of student attainment, and that our upcoming senior class must have a CCRI to graduate if they are participating with the Alabama regular diploma. And beginning with the class of 2026, that will be our graduation requirement. That is coming from the state. That is not a Tuscaloosa City Schools thing. And what is a Tuscaloosa City Schools thing is a confirmed post-secondary plan. And that's something we're very proud of. We don't think that that's being done. And we also are going to show you some more data to support, not only do we have a confirmed post-secondary plan, but we take care of our kids after they cross the finish line, going on into what they're going to do as they move forward. These are the college career readiness indicators. Oh, can't hear me, sorry. These are the college and career readiness indicators. These are the 9 that our students have access to. If we have any opportunity to speak on any of these, we know that CTE completers and CTE credentials are huge, and it's very appropriate being we're in this building, as well as our dual enrollment, and we'll speak to that tonight as well. All right, CCRI attainment. If you look, this is our longitudinal data for our CCRI attainment. The class of 2025 is in red because that data is not finalized. We call that dirty data because we're still waiting on data to come down and for the state to have it all updated, and then we'll certify it. The most important thing for us is if you look at the class of 2025, the one to the right, the graduates, those are the kids we can actually lay hands on. So the AIM data are our kids that we could have lost because they dropped out, multiple reasons. But the class of 2025 are the kids that were actually in our building, and we were actually able to make sure that they had a CCRI. So we're very proud of that data. And then, of course, our next step is to look at our junior class, which is the class of 2026. And this is the highest we've ever come in. So these kids are rolling into their senior year we have this many kids already ready to go out the door with a CCRI. So we're super excited about that. Don't feel like we're going to have to chase them around a lot this year. We're going to continue to move down into the junior class and the sophomore class, which is what we've been doing, and it's good data. We're excited about it. All right, our confirmed post-secondary plan. These are just some of our babies. They're on our bulletin boards and they're on our billboards out on the interstates that were enrolled and listed employed for this last year. We'll update that as we move forward. We always like to put our own students up there as opposed to a block picture of kids we don't know.
Right.
All right, here we go. These are our confirmed post-secondary plans. The class of 2025, we had 97.4% of our kids that had a confirmed post-secondary plan, which is huge. This does not happen. I know of no other system in the nation. We do a lot of going out. We present this a lot, and we never have anybody say, hey, we're doing this, and they always want to know how we're doing it and how they can do it. So we're very, very excited about what this looks like, but what I'm most excited about is this. This is the class of 2024. At graduation, we had 95% of our kids that had a confirmed post-secondary plan. We did a 6-month follow-up with those kids. 86% of those students were still doing what they said they were going to do. And at 12 months, 85% were. So that's huge for us. It means we're doing good things and that what our kids say they're doing, they're actually doing. So we're super excited. I do want to show you that of that 85%, that's 105 students that were unverified. 96 of those were unreachable. So we don't know that they're not doing what they said they were going to do. We just couldn't connect with them on that level. All right, I'm going to hand it over to Ms. Markham to talk about dual.
So dual enrollment or college credit attainment is one of those 9 CCRIs, and it happens to be a very dynamic piece of how we prepare students for life after high school, particularly those students who know that college is in their future or in their career path. At the top, you will see a hyperlink to the full 5-page data report on dual enrollment that goes all the way back to the creation of this position. But today, I want to just focus on the very, very high-level data. Bottom line, we have more kids year over year participating in dual enrollment programs, taking more college courses, and earning more college credit. And you can see we've got about 50 more students this past school year than we did in 23-24. They took 25, 27-ish more courses, and they earned about 6 more college credits. For me, that's exciting because we're seeing students at younger and younger ages participating in dual enrollment the summer after 9th grade instead of waiting until junior or senior year. So that's really encouraging, and we anticipate that our dual enrollment participation will just continue to grow. One of the stats that we are especially proud of relates to our class of 2025 graduates. Of those students who crossed the stage less than a month ago, almost 41% of them were leaving Tuscaloosa City Schools with college credit in their pocket. That's huge for us because when we compare that to national statistics, nationally we're looking at about 34% of high school graduates participating in dual enrollment. We've got almost 41% right here in TCS.
That's amazing.
So the data that you see there is relatively new or fresh for this board's presentation. Dr. Daria, for the past 2 years, has provided us with a focus within our strategic plan to start quantifying and measuring our extracurricular participation, something that there are really not a lot of national metrics that we can pull on. One of the few being from the College Board stating that most students between the ages of 12 and 17, 80% of those students say that they are involved in an extracurricular activity when they're filling out the information as it relates to AP or PSAT, SAT. Within the Tuscaloosa City Schools, we're currently sitting at a district-wide average of 90% for all students that have shown some type of participation in an extracurricular opportunity or an academic program that is providing an opportunity, an off-campus extended learning class, extended learning opportunity. That's a really high-level engagement. It really shows the commitment that this board and that our leadership has to fostering that kind of positive culture, not only inside our classrooms, but outside and allowing them the opportunities to do those things. In moving forward with some of this, again, we said this is fresh data. This is things that we're looking to quantify. We've been working with our college and career readiness partner, Zello, to find ways to really dig into this data and allow not only the students to tell their stories, but to allow the sponsors to verify that participation in a way that they can take that out into the world. Zello allows that resume to go with them when they leave, and to have those sponsors be able to put that verified check mark, something that all of our students would love to have on various social media platforms. Think of it as a way that they'll get that blue check mark that they can have on that resume from those sponsors to take out. It'll also allow us to start having a little bit of a closer look. Something that we're not seeing in these numbers are our community participation, things with things like Tuscaloosa Children's Theater, different dance companies throughout town, that it may not necessarily be something they're doing on our campuses, but it is something that they're going out and they're still representing TCS as a student in TCS's schools. So moving forward, we're going to look at that data, but these numbers are a celebration to see that the majority of our students in high school are getting engaged outside of the classroom.
Those numbers are incredible.
Okay, this is our new legislation. I've already talked about it, but this is the new legislation that has come down from the State Department saying that our seniors, our next year seniors, must have a CCRI to graduate. And this is not anything new for us. We've showed in the data that we've been doing this for several years. We do not expect to have kids that don't graduate because of a CCRI. So we've already put in the work, so we know that this is not going to be a problem for us. Option B diploma.
State Bill 253 is all about the Option B or Workforce Pathways Diploma. This is another pathway for students pursuing the general education path to the Alabama High School Diploma to earn their diploma. We know that it's a thing. We know also that it's not appropriate for all of our students, but there are some students who would benefit tremendously from this opportunity. A couple big differences in Option A, which is default for all of our gen ed students in Tuscaloosa City Schools, and this new Option B pathway are the credits that students are required to earn in order to satisfy graduation requirements, specifically in math, science, and career tech, which makes sense because if we've got kids who are pursuing a workforce pathway, we want them heavily involved in career and technical education. On the regular Alabama High School Diploma gen ed pathway, students have to earn 4 math credits. On this Option B diploma, students have to only earn 2, and that's geometry and algebra 1, or a second appropriate math course for kids who maybe earn math credit in middle school. The second major difference is in science. On the Option A diploma, students must earn 4 science credits. On Option B, it's just 2. Biology freshman year, and then a physical science 10th grade year. And then the third major difference is in that CTE area. Students pursuing this Option B pathway must attain CTE completer status, and they do that by earning a grade of 70 or better in 3 sequenced CTE courses in a declared program. So that's a big difference, and that CTE completer status you'll recognize as one of the 9 CCRI options. It's the designated CCRI option for students on this pathway. And then they will earn their additional 6.5 credits from any combination of coursework, additional cores that aren't necessarily required, other electives, more CTE, fine arts, world languages, all the things. So big differences in what's required for the Option B diploma as opposed to the Option A. Questions about Option B? I know that can be kind of a lot. What you need to know from us is that we have a process in place to help not only identify who those students are that might be suitable for this pathway, but also to ensure that the information students and families need to know about Option B is clear from the very beginning. For example, a student who wants to attend a 4-year college right after high school, Option B is not appropriate because they're not going to have that requisite coursework to be able to be admitted to a 4-year institution. That's part of our application process. Another consideration, just thinking about our Northridge athletes, this Option B is not an appropriate pathway for any student that plans to play at the collegiate level because NCAA is not going to recognize this Option B diploma. Alabama High School Athletic Association says everything's fine, but we need to make sure we know what our kids' plans are after they leave us so that we can set them on the most appropriate path to get there.
How are we, relating that message to the principals and the counselors at the schools?
Yep, so they're part of the conversation. We have an opt-in form. All of our students pursuing the general education pathway to the diploma default to option A. As early as the spring semester of their 10th grade year, they can opt in to option B after we've had a sit-down conversation with the student, with their family, with their school counselor, and the school principal. And we require signatures at each of those levels.
Okay, thank you.
And they get, so you do like a full explain, because I hear a lot of them say, well, we signed it, but I didn't quite understand it.
Yes, it is very explicit to the point that we ask the questions. Are you an athlete? What CTE program are you pursuing completer status in? Like, all of that has to be very explicit because we don't want to mess kids up. We don't want to limit their future opportunities. Okay, good on option B? All right, let's talk about House Bill 102. So we talked a little bit earlier about dual enrollment in Tuscaloosa City Schools. House Bill 102 effectively endeavors to do a couple things throughout the state of Alabama in the world of dual enrollment. The first is that it broadens availability of dual enrollment. That's fantastic for places that aren't us because we've already had very broad access to dual enrollment, including funding through the Elevate Scholarship. It requires all LEAs for public school systems to allow students to participate in dual enrollment. Again, that's not an issue for us. We've been doing that. It requires courses that are offered for dual enrollment to be approved by the Alabama State Department of Education. And the last one is kind of a big one for us. It requires local school systems to award high school credit or dual credit for the successful completion of any dual enrollment course. This is different for us because previously we had a dual credit crosswalk, which matched up courses students could take in the post-secondary world with courses that students could take to earn high school credit. And it was only those courses that were being placed on the students' high school transcripts. Now, with House Bill 102, any coursework that they complete will be reflected on their high school transcript, so that, of course, then has the opportunity to impact their high school GPA.
That's great.
So some of those opportunities will be weighted.
That is correct. So in preparation for House Bill 102, our crosswalk now no longer specifies which courses students can receive dual credit for, but it does specify which of those courses students can receive additional quality point consideration for, so like weighted credit.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
welcome. Okay, and then you can see that updated dual enrollment crosswalk as soon as we're able to complete this briefing for you all tonight. That very intense communication campaign for our students and families that starts tomorrow.
So if a child is transferring from another system here, how does the crosswalk work?
It's provided by the Alabama State Department of Education in terms of what courses are acceptable for dual credit, but in terms of transfer students, those courses will be weighted depending on the sending institution.
Okay.
So we accept them however they came to us with the transfer student. Is that the question?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because
yeah.
some systems may play different.
Correct.
So how are we aligning the two together so that it's not being more complex than what it should be?
Right, yes. For transfer students, we accept the weighting system of whatever the sending institution is. But for a student that earns the credit while they're with us, we apply our crosswalk, our processes, and our policies.
And then earlier, some time ago, and recall is gonna be real bad, we were talking about how we were doing things here at TCTA, lining the two, not scheduling. Was that
The crosswalk or the scheduling?
the scheduling now? I'm just thinking about, like, if we're doing a scheduling here and we were doing scheduling in high school, but if I was on this A plan and I'm on this B plan, how does all of that mesh?
If I understand the question, it will really mesh at the counseling at the home school. So if that child's on option B, that plan will be done at the home school in conjunction with TCTA. because a lot of, not all, but a lot of that completer status will be done here. So the two will work together to make sure whatever is declared at that, let's call it 10th grade year, that's enacted at this school. And that child has obviously priority scheduling to become a completer. And I think that's an important part if that's your question. So if a child says, I'm gonna go in welding, option B, we've got to clear the path for that child to get all the courses before graduation for that pathway, to be a completer on that pathway.
Because that's a little different from the way we're doing things here. Sort of, kind of, it's a little different. Scheduling, I'm talking about making sure that it just all lines up. Because if I'm doing welding,
I think I think we do actually a good job if students who are already working to be a completer, the 3 courses in a row. I don't know of any examples where scheduling has conflicted them out of becoming a completer, because that's important to us for a lot of reasons, mostly because it's important to the child. So I don't know of any examples where we've conflicted out due to scheduling, because they do a really precise job, especially for folks who need that completer status of 3 courses.
Just to confirm, previously, it would have been possible to take a dual enrollment class. If it wasn't on our crosswalk, it would not appear on the transcript at all.
For high school prep.
Now, they can take any dual enrollment class they want, and it will for sure be on the transcript, but it may not be weighted unless we have specifically said, this is, okay.
That is a perfect way to say that, yes. Okay.
Thank you, and I just wish you all good luck on this.
We're still going. We've got more, but I'm going to hand this back to Kelly.
So this is the CCR continuum. Something for our group is we don't ever want to just get complacent, and so we sat down and looked at how we impact the K-12 school system. And so this year, we've got some new things that we're going to be implementing. We partnered with several groups, and I'm going to show you what that is if I can make this work. So mainly, we're doing an expansion into literacy. We knew with the reading before 3rd grade, it was super important, and we wanted to make sure our kids had the knowledge they needed to know about what careers were available, not only here at TCTA, but in our community as well. So we have partnered with Tuscaloosa Reads. Their books this year will be tied to our career readiness, and specifically with the Bookworm Initiative. The people that will be coming in and reading, we hope, will have some background in those careers that can talk to those kids about that. We're already collaborating with the STEM ecosystem, working with challenges for early grades. It relates to career readiness. And then we are going to partner with TCTA this year, and not only to provide books in the field of interest that they choose for Mini-WOW when the 4th graders come through here, but also to look at different opportunities like literacy. We're looking with what is it, Earl the Squirrel? Several things that gives our kids the opportunity, young kids. They can make some connections, but it's not anything that is going to be, that they've heard about already. John, do you want to tell me what the next is for extracurricular? Did you say? Okay, all right. I think that's all, y'all. Does anybody have any questions?
Board, I will say, you saw a lot of really good data coming out of there. You see that, and a lot of planning with intentionality and planning across grade levels and departments. So a big kudos to this team. But I also encourage you, I would have a lot of questions seeing a lot of that for the first or second time. So by all means, you let us know. We'll sit down, or any member of this team will sit down and walk through some of that in more detail, because there's a lot there. They get a very high-level overview. But thank you all for such a terrific
Thank y'all
work.
for doing this slide for me.
Because what I'm gonna do is, when the parents ask me, I'm gonna put your phone number.
Right.
We have to talk to them. Okay, and we'll be happy to talk with y'all. All you have to do is reach out.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Thank you. Okay, so item B, receive financial reports for October 1, 2024 through March 31st, 2025, and all reports are reconciled with bank statements through March 31st, 2025. Mr. Duke.
Yes, sir, Mr. Lucas, that's right. We are halfway through the year for our financial reporting. Board, Superintendent, ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to bring to you the 6-month report again through March 30th, and I will breeze through that, and certainly if you have any questions, please stop and ask. We'll start looking at our revenue on the tax side, the local tax revenue, property tax, again, winding down. You probably heard me say that the last time I was here, but you can kind of see how the numbers start dwindling down. Collections have come in good and close to budget, and so we'll continue to track that. We've probably got about 3 more months of collections left. Car tag tax, a lot less dollar-wise, but still local money. And you see there that it was up versus the prior month last year. And again, tracking close to budget. Sales tax, we've been talking over a year or so now about the flattening off, and now we finally saw that, been kind of holding our breath, and we see a little dip there. We'll continue to track that. That's a little bit of a concern. And again, you can attribute a lot of that dip to the SSUT as more sales are being made online, and we do not get a penny from online sales. I'm going to say that again. We do not get a penny from online sales. That's SSUT tax. That issue is huge. It will continue to be huge until school systems, until we get it figured out. And so I'll just leave that there. Well,
I'm sorry, I just had an envision. It's like watching a train coming towards you. You can't get out of the way in time enough.
I equate it to like a dream when things get into slow motion. We've been sitting here watching this, talking about things, sales tax flattening off, and you and I have talked about it offline some too, Mr. Simmons. And, it's a huge issue, and it's millions of dollars. It's not chump change. I mean, you guys know what the e-commerce situation is, and it's only going to get bigger and bigger as we see those packages on our front door, our neighbors' front doors. So we've got to figure out a solution as a school system to this SSUT tax situation.
And until we come up with that solution, anybody in the community who wants to help should be reminded that they can do that by shopping local.
Absolutely, brick and mortar, we call it, but saying the same thing, that's right. Going in those storefronts in a Tuscaloosa city business, if you can walk in and make that purchase, that just helps the entire community out, including the school system. That's right. You will see when I get to the management report, when I talk about auxiliary services here in just a second, how way under budget it is. But what's going to happen is when I come back here and present the April and May financial statements, you'll see where we will have purchased, and we've already purchased, 49 school buses at $136,000 a pop. So that right there, $136,387 is what one school bus cost us. Chris, if you'll go to the next slide, our state fleet renewal, the recurring money that we get from the state of Alabama each year, there you go. That we get $75,000. A school bus cost $136,000. There was a statewide article, I may have mentioned it last time, but I'm going to mention it again, by the Alabama Daily News. State Superintendent Eric Mackey is warning the state legislature that there's a funding crisis coming as far as it relates to school buses. That is why. It's just that simple. School bus prices have went skyrocketed. The state's continued to fund us at $75,000 for years now. Chris, if you'll go to the next slide. The math on that, there's the gap for one school bus. We've got to come up with funds for that. Chris, if you'll go to the next slide. We are fortunate temporarily because we have elected to use some of our what's called advancement and technology money. Said another way, that's some money that the state has been able to put back because of the state collections the last couple of years have been good. So think of the supplemental appropriations, advancement and technology money. Those are one-time monies. We're not guaranteed that next year, but we have elected to use those monies to fill that gap. That's a huge gap. So this year we're buying 49. Next year we're buying 24 school buses at, again, $136,000 a pop. We'll use that advancement and technology money to prop that up. But after that, it gets interesting not only for us, and it's not just a Tuscaloosa City Schools thing. Again, the state superintendent has predicted that's going to be a big issue around the state upcoming.
How many are in our fleet again?
What's that?
How many are in our fleet?
About probably 130 or 40 in the fleet, 113 daily routes. Of course, we have to keep spares. So I think 130, 140 buses that would actually be on the ground at any given time. Okay, on to the general fund management report. You see our target's 50%. I'm going to focus in on the expenditures just briefly. Again, you see that low number, that 26.3% by auxiliary services on the percentage, 26.3. You're going to see the next two times I'm here, we're going to fast forward because we've spent a lot of money the last about 60 or 70 days on 49 school buses, $6 or $7 million worth. So, but the other numbers there are good. When I say good, they're tracking along with budget. This is our state report that we send to the Alabama State Department of Education, our comprehensive financial statement of all funds, and I always like to put that up there. This information's on the website. It is available to the public, and my phone number's on the website, and if anybody, you of course always, and anybody from the public's ever have any questions about any of these numbers, we are an open book. Mr. Vice Chairman, that concludes my report. I'll be glad to take any questions, but otherwise I will wrap it up.
Thank you, Mr. Duke. Anyone have any questions for Mr. Duke?
Couple quick questions.
Sure.
You were talking about the buses a moment ago. The buses, are we adding buses or are we replacing buses or a little bit of both?
Great question. We're replacing buses. They're on a 10-year cycle. They're on a 10-year funding cycle. If they were to get into that 11th year, we stop getting fleet renewal money. So at the 10-year mark, we replace those buses. You also have warranty issues that start coming up at 10 years. So we are replacing buses, and that's a great question. We're not adding routes, or we're just simply replacing older buses.
With the older buses, are we able to sell them or anything we can do to generate anything to make up that gap?
Absolutely. We have already sent the spares that are ready to go and become spares to a certified auction house, and we do recoup some money. It's nominal in the big scheme of things, but it does help.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any more questions, board?
And I don't know, this sounds so ugly, what was coming up is about to come out. Yes, we need the buses, but we need the bus drivers to drive the bus. I think it's harder to get the drivers sometimes to drive the bus. So,
KTJ, can I say that over the mic? We need bus drivers.
we need bus drivers.
Repeat what
I
you
mean,
said. We need bus drivers.
we can have the buses, but if we don't have the drivers for, you have to have a CDL passenger license and all this stuff to drive the bus. So we can have nice bus, but if we don't have drivers, then I guess Dr. Cameron and Dr. Pope get to go out and drive buses. You got a CDL, you can drive a bus? I'm just asking.
On that note, Dr. Cameron, is it accurate to say we could probably start the process of getting them signed up tomorrow if they were to call us?
But I also know, Mr. Duke, these new buses all will be air conditioned, right?
That's right.
So that's a
right.
plus, right
So
there.
that's a plus, and hopefully, that's something that's an incentive for others to come to our system because, I would prefer to have a individual on the bus with them to help them and aid, but we can't afford everything because you said the SSUT needs to come aboard. So we just keep Mr. Grant on the bus by himself with 30, 40, 50 kids.
Our bus drivers do a great job. We appreciate each and every one of them. We just need a few more.
Thank you, Mr. Duke. We appreciate it. You all always do a wonderful job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, Mr. Pope left us?
Item number 9. Introduction of motions and resolutions for first reading. There are none. So we go to item 10, consent agenda items A through F. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Get a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Well, we can turn the page. Okay, item 11, regular agenda items for Final adoption, approve superintendent's recommendation regarding changes in personnel. Dr. Cameron,
Thank you.
is yours.
We've got the superintendent's recommendations regarding changes in personnel. We also have the supplemental list. I will go through both with you, starting on page 1. You have 6 resignations, 4 new certified personnel, 3 new support personnel, 2 transfer of classified personnel, 1 administrative transfer, 1 administrative personnel for summer supplement, 1 change in contract days, 7 reassignments, 1 rehire, 1 24-25 fall semester academic incentive, 4 24-25 spring semester academic incentive, 1 24-25 spring semester academic supplement academic incentive removal, and 56 summer learning academy, which carries us to page 4. You have 1 25-26 athletic supplement. With the supplemental list, you have 1 retirement, 2 resignations, 6 new certified personnel, 1 new support personnel, 6 reassignments, 3 transfer of certified personnel, 1 rehire, 1 part-time person, and 27 summer learning academy.
Board, before we get a motion, are there any set-asides? Oh, it's not a set-aside, okay. Any set-asides? If there none, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm new at this, I have a question about, I guess a procedural question. I see for one of the supplemental lists on the, I see my wife's name is on here. Do I need to?
Set aside.
I need to set that aside.
Please. Good.
Set aside.
Set aside,
Yeah.
There's some pros, they can tell you how to do
What
that.
number was that? What number is that?
On the supplemental list, under Summer Learning Academy, number 33.
Number 33 on the supplementary, gonna be set aside.
You gotta teach you, you don't have to say her name, you just say the number.
I didn't say her name, but I guess I gave it away with
The wife bet?
the familiar position.
Okay, are there any other set-asides? If not, can I get a motion with all except number 33 on the supplementary?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Can I get a motion for number 33?
Wait,
on-
I'm sorry.
Oh.
I didn't need to set aside, but I wanted some discussion.
I apologize.
On
ahead.
number 1 on the supplemental list, I just wanted to be clear for the world at large who may be freaking out about this one, that he is staying on as a coach. He's just retiring as a teacher.
Retiring as a
And we
teacher.
are
Yeah.
very grateful for all of his years of service and psyched that he is going to keep coaching.
Yes, ma'am. I had a conversation with Dr. Williams yesterday, and that's the intent of retiring as a teacher, coming back as a contracted coach.
Awesome.
This I was a little fast at the beginning. Anyone else have any comments? If not, motion passed. Can I get a motion for number 33 on the supplementary list?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any comments on that?
No, it's-
Abstain.
Who the newbie?
Get out there now.
Was you in orientation?
Okay, so if there's no comments, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Abstain.
And 1 abstention. Anybody opposed? Pretty good. Motion passed. All right. Hi, Speedy Gonzalez. See you taking off on us.
Yes, assume we don't have any more wives. Okay.
Everybody's finna go looking for number 33 now tomorrow.
Huh?
They finna look for number 33 tomorrow. Who it is.
Item B, I'm sorry. Discuss, approve 2025-26 Raptor Technologies, Raptor Badge, Alert Visitors Safe Quote. Dr. Cameron?
So I'm going to take this in two different parts. So the first part is our visitor management system. If you come into our schools, you know you got to type in your employee number, and then you're cleared. So what we're doing, what we hope to do, is we're going to purchase iPads with our IT department. Purchase iPads. We're going to put them up on the stands to where you can use your badge and you can check in with your badge on the visitor management system. You're also, when visitors come in, they'll use their driver's license and be able to use that technology with the iPad and be able to sign in through their visitor management system in that way. We'll still do the same thing. It will identify those, it does that national sex offender check for us. No real change other than we're just going away from the computer system of typing your number in. We'll use a different badge. The badge will have a code on here. You'll flash it to the iPad, and you can be on your way. That's the visitor management system that we hope to do. Now, IT, Chris and Carlos have been fantastic. We'll order the iPads. We don't think this will be up and running till probably September, October, and it just needs to give us a little time because it needs to work in conjunction with our badge system too. We're going to get new badges, and in conjunction with that, probably last part of September, first part of October, we'll be able to roll this out. The second part of this is the badge alert system, to where you'll have your badge, but you also have a badge alert to where if there's an emergency, then two different things will happen. So if you press it 3 times, let's say it's a medical emergency, the CERT team will come. Press it 7 times or just keep pressing it, the cavalry is going to come. So if there's somebody in the building that shouldn't be in the building, pressing it 7 times or more, everybody's going to come. So what it's going to do is Raptor will come in. Raptor's already with their visitor management system. They'll use these badges. Each employee will have their own badge. This is going to take a little time because you're going to be able to come into all of our schools, and they'll set up beacons around. This way it will triangulate where the emergency is happening. It connects with 911, connects with TPD. So it's just a seamless integration that helps with safety, and it feels better for our employees, for our students, but also for our community, for our parents coming in, knowing we've got this emergency management system. It's going to take a little time because they've got to come into each individual school and do the beacon system with that. We hope that to get that up and going, if we get it signed tomorrow, they'll start moving within the next couple of weeks. We hope to get this up and going again around September, October, full integration. So when we do this, you'll see that cost of $127,000, but you also have a recurring cost. Now, the recurring cost looks a lot, but it's with everything we do with Raptor. So it's a visitor management system and the badge system as well. We'll use advancement in technology funds to purchase this. So any questions?
Thank God.
Are we approving this tonight?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, now, any questions
Any
for Dr. Cameron?
These are the badges, they're gonna have the larger pictures on them as
So
well.
your employee badge will have a larger picture on it as well. It'll, right now you can barely see me right now, but it'll be a larger picture, and it'll also be color coded. So there'll be a color code for an employee, a color code for an SRO, color code for a temporary. Subs will have their own badges. They get their own badges through Kelly, but we'll incorporate them. We're also with the visitor, with the alert badge, subs will also get that alert badge as well that they'll turn in each day.
Sounds like it's got a whole bunch of safety features. I like that. I think that's a great idea.
It does. It's going to work, and they provide the training for us. So there'll be in-person training, virtual training, but we want to make sure that all of our employees feel safe and secure in that, and they know how to use the badge as well.
I have a question. Will they be able to function campus-wide? Let's say, if I'm at the field house at Bryant or out at the baseball, softball field at Northridge, et cetera, during the course of the
Yes.
school day?
If it's on the campus, yes. Now, the one thing they want, if you're a bus driver and you're on on the highway, it's not gonna function. It's gotta be campus-wide coverage, but they can get, so we'll ask them to use their radio. They've also got an app that we can install, on there, but they've got a radio they can use, so we want them to use their radio too. Now, if they're on campus, they see something, let's say they're here at TCTA dropping off, and they see something, then they can certainly use their badge for an alert.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Can our badges be pink?
Oh,
Just playing. Listen.
Moving right along.
No, what, seriously,
I've
this
got a
is,
special color for you.
this,
Yeah.
I'm just messing with Dr. Jackson. Seriously, this is one of the best investments into our school system since I've been sitting on this board. And this is almost this year 9. Like, this is phenomenal. The safety measures, whoever thought of it is brilliant. I absolutely love it.
I have to give thanks to Chris, thanks to Carla from the ID department, Anthony Harris. They've just been fantastic. Raptors really working with us as well, so it was certainly a team effort bringing this along.
It's awesome.
and I know we haven't gotten to this point, because that would be, because I can see that kind of having its disadvantages, but is there something in the system, and that's more of a Chris question, whereas now that they're removing cell phones and parents are very concerned, is there ever something that's gonna be where there's a badge and a child can hit the same button because something truly is going on? I know if they're hitting it now, we got kids that do things that bring them in front of us that would not be appropriate, but with the removal or locking up a cell phone, some parents, it hadn't hit them yet. August is gonna be a super mental launch for parents to realize my child can't get to me, and we still have occurrences of events that are out of our control. You know, we're doing the best that we can, but we pray nothing ever happens to any child, but
Sure.
to make parents feel better, is there something where there's a badge, you know, that something to make them feel a little bit more confident?
We're not to that point yet, perhaps in the future. Now, when this alert goes out, it would go out to all of the devices that we have, desktops, that sort of thing. So, and it emits a sound that is, Chris and I were talking with him a couple weeks ago. It's a loud sound. It's so loud that I thought it was going to bring some attention to us in ACR. So it emits a loud sound, but we're not there with students. Not saying we might be in the future.
Okay, when we say it emits a sound, is it like the bell? I'm just thinking about our students that have hearing.
It's a very significant sound that it'll be discerning from the bell.
Okay. And then students that have, that parents or students have some concerns that it may trigger certain vibes or,
Sure.
you know, negative
We'll
traumas.
prepare the teachers to work with that. Just like we do with a fire drill, we prepare those students for a fire drill. We'll prepare those students in the same way.
And to piggyback off Dr. Jackson about August, I just want to say publicly again that we are being getting in front of it, preventive measures, taking preventive measures to get ready with the phone situation, and it's from the state. It's not Tuscaloosa City Schools that decided, because like I often tell you, we get beat up. Well, I know me and Dr. Jackson and Marvin, I know we'll get hit with something that came from the state, but it's okay. But just making it known that we are not taking the phones away from the children, because parents do have a big concern, like, oh, what if something happen, And I'm one of those parents, but I do realize that what phones in the schools have done to our students, with that some of these phones actually cause the problem, But getting back to, you're going to have to go to the office to use the phone, and we have phones in some classrooms as well. So, just wanted to make that public to the YouTubers. That's all.
Yes, ma'am.
One question I got, in the early stages of these, they was having multiple false alarms. Is there an override false alarm?
We can work with Raptor on it. And one point I didn't bring out, when a badge is getting low, So about every 3 to 4 months, you need to charge your badge. Raptor will tell that person, hey, Darren, your badge is getting low. Please power it back up. So we'll work with Raptor. I know there was another company in a state near us that had some false alarms in that way. So we'll work with Raptor, what we can do. Yes, sir.
So you're charging this?
Yes, ma'am. And it takes, from what Raptor's telling us, it holds about 3, maybe 4 months of a charge. But when it gets down to 20% battery life, you'll be told, hey, you need to charge this.
I think it's a lithium in it that is it's a fast charge. That's what I just.
Hey, I don't think it takes long. I don't think the charge takes long.
Any other questions, board members?
Call for the vote, please, Mr. Chair.
If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion pass. Item 12. Unfinished business. Is there none?
Wait,
C.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir, Mr.
Dr. Duke, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. The FY '25 budget amendment, this is something we do annually in the normal course of business, as do all school systems. And what this is just a calibration of the budget, budgeting of any allocations that we received after the fact from the state back in August and September. And so we simply will calibrate the budget, again, adjust the budget to more reflect accurate revenues and expenditures that have happened during the year. So we would simply ask for your approval of the amended budget.
Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments from Mr. Duke? Mr. Duke, we've done this. We do this throughout, just as time comes up. So
That's right. It's routine, and it's usually late May, early June. So we're kind of within like a few days of what we did last year.
Yes, sir. All in favor?
Aye.
Now, item 12.
Okay.
Any unfinished business? There's none. Any general announcements from any board members? Just want to remind everybody, we have on our agenda June 10th, a call board meeting, work session at 5:30. Just continue to hold that date on your calendar for future announcements.
School's closed June 19th, right?
Yes. Is there any other comments, questions? If not, meeting adjourned. Thank you, board members.